All right, why do casinos exist, right? Everybody says, well, it's to make money. Of course, but that's what every business does. But casinos are very unique, and we're going to talk about this today in this video. And if you do visit the casino, this is vitally important information that you should really pay attention to. This is insider stuff. This is exactly what's going on inside of a casino and the things that you should look out for so you can become a better and smarter gambler. Let's get started. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Gamble Smart channel. My name is Mark. If you're new here, we certainly welcome you to the Gamble Smart family. We are here to educate you to become better and smarter gamblers. If you decide to gamble and that's your thing, why wouldn't you want to be educated so you know what to look for, some of the things that you should be doing when you're there to make sure that you walk out with more money than you used to. Okay, that's what we're here for, to try to teach you this stuff. All right, so let's get started. And by the way, if you do like this kind of stuff, we would love a subscription, thumbs up, ring the bell, you know the drill. All right, YouTube tells me I got to say that. I just said it. Let's move on to today's topic. All right, so why do casinos exist? Yes, they're a money-making entity, right? But so is every business. Every business's goal is to make money, right? But casinos are different. Just think about this for 1 second. Casinos exist because a bunch of people got together and realized that human beings absolutely suck at math, probability, and statistics. And then they said, you know what? Let's create an industry around that weakness and then make money off of it. That's exactly why casinos exist, right? Listen, us as human beings, whatever it is, we are not wired to be able to figure out and understand statistics and probability. It's just a difficult subject, and so I don't blame anybody that struggles with this. And only if you have been through a lot of math classes and a lot of college math classes, which most of us haven't, it's not something that ever comes up. They don't teach it in grade school and things like that. So why does it matter? What is statistics? Well, let me give you a couple of examples to look out for as evidence of this exploitation against us, right? First, let's start with the roulette table. Okay, why is it that every roulette table has a board up there that shows you the past history of all of the numbers that have been picked? Why does that matter? Because it actually makes absolutely no difference or no advantage play as to what is coming next, okay? But our brains don't think that way. And so that is a pure exploitation to get you to bet based on past results. You see a bunch of reds, you're going to make an uneducated guess that it's going to be black. But the odds are the same. Every single spin of that roulette ball is exactly the same, right? But they exploit us. They put those boards, that we call it in the industry the dummy board, because people look at it and then they're making decisions based off of that. But it's useless information. It's completely useless, okay? So that's example number one of exploitation inside of the casino. We're going to go through a lot of examples today. You're going to see a lot, and then you're going to walk into the casino a little bit different, I promise, because you're going to be like, aha, that's a trick. Let's get on to the next one. All right, the next one is slot machines, and this is a big category. We're going to go through a lot of different ones. I'm starting with my top dollar machine behind me. This is a perfect example of something that is exploitation. And what do I mean by that? Look at these values. This 1,000 is staring at you. Oh, it should be really easy to get that. It's like right there. This looks like it's pretty easy to get like the 50s and 100s, but before you start playing the game, you think that. But as soon as you start getting the bonus rounds and you get 15 credits and 20 credits and stuff like that, you're like, what's happening? Look at all these big values. And I've heard this from people on YouTube videos, in person, stuff like that. I am not taking any offer until I get to the last one, because that's always the biggest one. It's tricking you, right? And so this is one example of a many, we're gonna get through more, of a slot machine trying to trick you into making a bad decision by showing these bigger values up here, thinking that it's a lot more possible. And I don't have a Wheel of Fortune here, but Wheel of Fortune is another good example of this, where they have a wheel, right, with equal wedges all the way around. You have the 1,000 credits, the 20, they always put the 20 and the 40 next to that 1,000, right, because it's real close, all that kind of stuff. But listen, that does not mean each wedge is equal, but it appears that way. And so they're tricking you into thinking that it's like the Wheel of Fortune game on TV, right, where you just spin the wheel and let gravity do the picking, right? That's not what happens here. It's heavily weighted to those lower amounts. So if the wheel was like redone to where it was legitimately an even distribution, that 1,000 wedge would be so small that they couldn't even put an art graphic for it on the wheel. And then you'd have the 20, which is like taking up a third of the wheel, for example, right? So that would be a real representation of it, but that is not the trick. The trick is to make you think that every single spin on there is just gravity doing the trick, but it's not. It's definitely weighted in the favor of the lower values. All right, the next one to trick you into playing is progressives, right? So here's a game here. Black Orchid has some progressives going up. That is a way to draw you in. Look, it's at the top of the screen. Sometimes it's even way, way, way at the top. Sometimes they have these big like deployments where you see like the grand progressive, like on Dragon Link and Dragon Cash, going around the top, so that you can see it anywhere in the casino. That's a trick to get you in. You see that that's high, and you suddenly think it's due, that you need to go there and start playing it because it's getting so high. Guys, it's a trick. Like with those games, with these progressives, every single spin has the equal chance of hitting that progressive. Now, the probabilities of hitting it are very difficult, right? But people don't know that. They think because it's getting high, it's about to hit, or it's capped out, it's about to hit. Or sometimes people think the reverse. They say if the progressive is really low, that means it hits frequently, so you need to go and play it. All these things are myths. That's not what's actually going on here. So when you see a progressive, and it's not a must hit by a progressive, it's just drawing you in. Okay, that's what the progressives are there for. They're trying to trick you in there. They're very difficult to get, even the ones that are the low amount. The lowest one on here is $26, and I've played this game for about 2 hours earlier today, and I never once got that one, even though I'm betting $5 a spin. It's a $26 progressive on a $5 spin. You would think it would be easier to get, but most of the time it's not, right? So you just got to realize that the progressives should always be treated as icing on the cake. Okay, don't go and play those specifically for the progressive. Okay, if that makes sense. Play it for the base game, not the progressive. All right, so that's the next trick. And this next one is the one that really irritates me, and it's something that you guys really need to pay attention to. Let's get into that one. All right, here's the next one, and I don't have an example behind me, unfortunately, right now, but it's the pots, it's the pigs, it's the firecrackers, it's the hens. You know what I'm talking about, the 3 different buckets that you pick from, Mo Mummy, the 3 little gem piles, all these things. Guys, all of those, unless specifically said otherwise in the game rules, all of those are perceived progression, which means it means absolutely nothing about what is going to happen soon. Just because you see the gem pile shaking and it's at the very top and it looks like it's ready to go, it means nothing. Okay, same with the quick hits with the dollar signs. You know, people say the firecrackers all the way at the end. They think, it's ready to hit. I better play this one. Or they compare 2 machines and they say, well, this one is empty, but this one is all the way at the top, so I should play the one that's all the way at the top. It makes no difference, guys. And it's in the game rules on most of these games, but some of them aren't. And I blame the manufacturers for that. They need to be very open and honest about this, in my opinion. I really think, and let me know what you think in the comments too, do you think that they should put it front and center on the glass that this is a visual thing? It's a visual thing, right? It doesn't mean anything. It's no indication that the bonus round is coming soon because it's up at the top, okay? The firecrackers are all the way lit up, the hen is about to burst, all that kind of stuff makes no difference, right? And to me, this is the biggest example, in my opinion, of exploitation of us not understanding statistics, because people look at that, they instantly think it's close, I gotta keep playing, I gotta keep putting money in. You guys gotta be stronger than that. You gotta realize that that is just an illusion. It's an illusion to keep you playing. And that's not how to gamble smart. You need to understand how these things work so you don't make those bad decisions. All right, let's keep it going. All right, I hope you guys made it this far, because this is where it really all comes together, in my opinion. So think about how slot machines work. I know you have an opinion or view on how slot machines work, but there is an actual way that they work, okay? And we've done a video on that. I'll link it up here in case you haven't seen it. Slot machines are mathematical probability formulas. That's all they are, okay? There's no manipulation. There's no, if your card's in there, they're going to watch you and turn the odds up or down. None of that stuff is going on. It's all statistics and probability, okay? Hot and cold. You've heard that before. Man, this machine's hot, this machine's cold. It's not there programmatically, but that does happen with randomness and statistical probabilities, okay? That is what happens. We always use the example of flipping a coin. It's 50-50, right? Heads, 50, tails, 50. So why is it, explain to me, why is it when you flip it 5 times and it's heads every single time, has the odds changed? No, the odds haven't changed. Is that coin hot? No, that coin is not hot. It doesn't mean that the 6th time you flip it, it's going to be tails. It has to be, because it's been 5 in a row. No, it could be heads at the same amount of time that it could be tails. That's statistics at its basic formula. Now, slot machines are on a bigger scale, much bigger scale than a quarter or a coin. You know, but I want to break it down into what statistics really is, okay? It's about probabilities over a long period of time. And when you talk about slot machines, these things are programmed in a way that they will reach the theoretical payback percentage setting within about 10 million spins, sometimes a little bit less than that. Really depends on the game. But confidently, 90% confidence that when they run these machines for about 10 million spins, they're going to come within 0.2% of what that theoretical payback percentage is. Now, how does it do that? Is it self-balancing? Is it saying, well, I brought in 10,000 today, I need to start paying some of that back so I can stay in balance? No, it doesn't need to do that because it's all about probabilities. It will eventually get there without any manipulation from anyone. And by the way, fun fact, in case you didn't know this, and this, if I said this one statement, I wouldn't have to do 100 videos on this channel because this one statement covers all the myths. Think about this for a second. A slot machine cannot be classified and authorized as a slot machine if there were any outside influence on the random number generator and probability mathematical program, okay? If that didn't exist, then the slot machine would never be on a casino floor. And believe me, there are so many entities involved in auditing all this stuff. There are two separate entities that aren't related to each other, that aren't related to the manufacturers, that routinely test RNGs produced by the manufacturers to make sure that every single spin on a slot machine is true and fair. Okay, and I know we're going to get lit up in the comments because we always do, because people say, no, I've witnessed something different, all that. What you're witnessing is statistics, but our brains are just not tuned to see this, okay? Our brains are tuned to see patterns of things that we don't understand, okay? So if you did flip a coin 5 times and got heads every time, our brain, instead of just saying, well, that's probability and statistics, we try to think of other reasons why that could be. Well, maybe I'm not balancing it on my thumb correctly, or maybe I'm fixing it a little bit by not really doing a full flip. That's where our brains go, right? But that's not actually fact. That's not actually what is going on. And I'm here to tell you, because I've been on the inside, I know how these things are programmed. A lot of people say, yeah, you're just a slot tech that turns keys and stuff. No, I've worked on the math on these things. I've built my own slot machine. I've built a double diamond replica before, using the information from the manufacturers, the par sheets, what you call it, to build a simulation of how a slot machine works. And guys, it's just probability and math. But again, we have a hard time understanding that. And boy, do casinos exploit that. And that's the topic of this video, is exploitation. Us humans are humans are bad enough that we would actually create an industry to exploit other humans. It's wild to me. It's absolutely wild to me. So, okay, I've said all this. Why would you ever go into a casino? I know people will say that. Gamble smart, it doesn't make any sense. Like, just don't gamble at all. I get that. And you have to make that decision if you want to gamble or not. And you can win, guys. If nobody won on a slot machine or a table game, nobody would ever play, ever. Nobody would ever go into a casino. But people do win. They just forget about it, or they play all the way down to 0 every single time because they're not understanding how the game mechanics work, right? So what we teach on this channel is not just about how everything works and how the casino is manipulating on you, but teaching you budget control. You have to put yourself in your shoes. The casino is not going to do that for you. They're not going to come and tap you on the shoulder and say, Mark, it's time to get off that machine, man. You're putting too much money into it. No, they're going to encourage you to keep playing. They're going to give you more free play, more, oh, if you just get 100 more tier credits, you can spin the wheel and get extra free play, all this kind of stuff. The casinos are there to keep you there as long as possible, right? Because the longer you play, the more likely you're going to lose. We need to reverse that, right? By understanding how all this stuff works and how the casino is out to manipulate you, you will become a better gambler because you are in charge, not the casino, not the slot machines, not the manufacturers. You are in charge, all right? Does that make sense? So next time you go to the casino, I know it's a new year. This is a good time to think about this kind of stuff. Think about what you will do differently when you walk into the casino the next time. Start to look, aha, that's them trying to trick me, or that's trying to trick me. I'm not going to fall for that, suckers. You need to be the smart one. All right, guys, Happy New Year. We're very excited. Dave and I will be in Las Vegas next week. We got a ton of videos planned. It's going to be a fun week, and we're going to take you guys along the ride. So make sure you ring that bell because we will go live several times while we're there, and we may not be able to announce it. It may just be one of these things where we just pop up and go. So we want you to join in on the fun. All right, guys, from everybody here at the Gamble Smart team, my name is Mark. Hope you have a wonderful new year. We'll see you on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.